Alright, on March 6, 2012, the game was released, and the publisher EA, developers BioWare, the director Casey Hudson. It was the engine, Unreal Engine 3, platforms, the Nintendo Wii U, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Microsoft Windows. Genre, action, role-playing, or third-person shooter, modes, single-player, multiplayer. In Mass Effect 3, it takes place months or a year after Mass Effect 2. It's up to Commander Shepard to forge alliance across the galaxy to take down the Reapers. It received critical acclaim for its characters, emotional story, improved combat, voice acting, soundtrack, and art direction. But this game caught a lot of flack due to the poorly received. I mean, the game was so bad because of the ending that it didn't meet expectations. And BioWare released the extended cut, downloadable content pack, trying to fix the ending. The game received several year-end awards, including Best RPG at Spike Video Game Awards and the Game of the Year from Game Informer. If you think about it, the Mass Effect Trilogy they won its Best RPG at Spike Video Game Awards 3 years in a row or something like that, because they did in Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, and now Mass Effect 3. And it was followed up with a sequel, Mass Effect Andromeda, which it was released this month 3 years ago on March 21st, which I already did a review. The video link will be in the description. You can check it out if you want to. Now, let's get to the greatness, thinkingness, and what on planet Bloody Mars did y'all do, BioWare, which is good, bad, and ugly. Let me get it out of the way. If I can, I've written it down so I wouldn't forget. Okay, here we go. Alright, the story, the plot is awesome. The graphics, the voice acting, all-out war against the Reapers, the music, the soundtrack, the gameplay it's an improvement. It is over Mass Effect 1 and 2. Memorable DLC, my favorite is Omega. I don't know why. I just like Omega a little bit better than Citadel. And the DLC, it is worth every single penny. I love all four of them, but if I had to choose, like I said, Omega. And replay value, I completed the Mass Effect 3 3 times. I tried to do it for the 4th time. I couldn't do it. I got burnt out. So, now, the stinkiness, which is bad, where's the final boss? I mean, they had the first 2 games. I mean, why ditch it for in Mass Effect 3? I don't understand that. The multiplayer, whatever. Really, BioWare? Really? Okay. And I feel at times the controls and gameplay feels loose, because that's something I've noticed while playing it. I mean, the game still freezes, still crashes on me from time to time. And the ugly, which is what on planet Bloody Mars did y'all do, BioWare? The ending. I don't need to go into that situation, because we all know what happened with that game. I'm just going to read you a little bit of it. It was poorly received by fans who felt that it did not meet expectations. Critics felt that the ending endured the characters' choices inconsequential, general lack of closure, lore contradictions, plot holes, character and narrative inconsistencies, the absence of the final boss battle, which I talked about which is the bad, and inconsistencies between the statements by BioWare staff during the game's development and the form the endings ultimately took. And the fans were so displeased, so salty, they made a campaign called Retake Mass Effect to demand a better ending to the game, which I talked about in Gaming Still Fun Part 3, which I ripped the gaming community in half, specifically Mass Effect fans, for acting the way they were acting. Plus, it came across as you want the game to be redone from start to finish just because it's not what you wanted. You didn't get what you wanted. That's where I had a problem, but whatever. The charity or drive, whatever, it raised $80,000 less than 2 weeks. One fan was super duper salty to the point he took his complaint to the FTC, which is Federal Trade Commission, argued that BioWare did not deliver the promise of its game. And the Better Business Bureau supported the claims by fans that BioWare had falsely advertised the game's complete control of the game's final outcome. However, the UK's Advertisement Standards Authority, ASA, disagreed, ruling that EA BioWare were not guilty of false advertisement since the endings were theoretically quite different. The choices of readiness rating reflected on the ending content were significant enough to avoid actionable misleading consumers under existing law. You can read the rest of it, and I was just shocked. I was like, okay. One side felt that BioWare misled, and the other side, the other group says, nah, cut EA and BioWare some slack. So what do I think about Mass Effect 3? I think it could have been a perfect game for me if the issues I talked about didn't pull it down. And including the ending. It was bad before I played it because I watched the playthrough on YouTube. It was bad when I played it and beat it 3 times. This game will be talked about the next 10 to 30, 40, 50 years, and people will still remember the ending more so than the whole package, and that's a damn shame. For me, I'll remember the Mass Effect 3 as an excellent but not a perfect game for its whole package. But the ending brought the game down some. So that's my verdict. Now, Mass Effect 2, aka the GOAT, aka the greatest sci-fi video game of all time. It takes place months after the original Mass Effect game, which came out in 2007. It was released January 26, 2010. And you take a role of Commander Shepard, go from being dead, I mean literally dead, to commanding a diverse team, to go on a suicide mission to put the collectors into the ground permanently. That's what the game is about. The story. Now, it was a commercial success. It received crucial acclaim from video game publications. And it was praised for interactive storytelling, characterization, combat. And it won numerous year-end gaming awards, including Game of the Year, 14th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, Best Game 2011, British Academy of Film, Television Arts Awards. It was cited as one of the greatest video games of all time. Okay. And some critics felt that, you know what? They have concerns of the game for its simplified gameplay, etc. Now, what do I think? Pros and cons. Story, awesome DLC. My favorite DLC will be Arrival, because you get to play certain ways. If you play as Infiltrator, do not use the cloak ability, because the Praetorians will see through you. So, the old and new characters, loyalty/recruitment missions, and soundtrack. That's what Mass Effect's always been about. You know, a lot of things, but the loyalty missions, the recruitment missions, I just loved every minute of it. The cons, the planet scanning felt more of annoying and a distraction. The gameplay felt like it's Gears of War 2006. They pushed the Reapers all the way in the back. Like, you go sit down, you be quiet, you don't say a word. It ain't about you. This is about the collectors, which I understand. But I felt that the Reapers play a huge role in the franchise, in the trilogy. So the technical issues, the game crashed on me. It crashed on me, froze on me several times, especially in the crucial moments. I really hated it so much, and the game feels more like a third-person shooter than an action RPG. Everybody loves Mass Effect 2 because of, the things I mentioned. But what about the gameplay? What about technical issues? It feels more like a movie than a video game to me. And I don't appreciate that. And I also don't appreciate when people sit there and say, hey, play Mass Effect 2. Don't play other Mass Effect games because they're garbage. How can you label yourself, or how you can tell someone, oh, if you're a Mass Effect fan, you play Mass Effect 2 and that's it? No, you got to play Mass Effect 1, 2, 3 and Andromeda. No matter good, bad, and ugly, doesn't matter. You're a fan either way. That'd be like me saying, oh, I'm a Metal Gear Solid fan, but play Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Don't play other Metal Gear Solid games. They're garbage. That's not me being a fan at all. So my verdict for Mass Effect 2, I've been going back and forth between excellent, great, good for a long time. I say it's great, but not excellent like most people want you to believe. It's not a masterpiece at all. So that's how I feel. And Mass Effect 1, it came out in 2007 on November 20th. And it won numerous year-end gaming awards and other things. Let me get the pros and cons out the way because I don't want to spend too much time on it. Excellent story / plot. It's about Commander Shepard gathering a team to take on, any enemy, but this time it's about Saren, who is a rogue Spectre. Plus, the Reapers come into play. The soundtrack, gameplay, sort of. The crew, which is Garrus, Liara, Rek, Tali, Karen, Caden, Ashley Williams, and everybody else. Variety of missions to tackle. That's what I love about Mass Effect. And oh yeah, I like Mako better than the Nomad from Mass Effect Andromeda. Just saying. Now, the cons are the graphics can be better. The enemy AI, they were horribly unbalanced. I mean, one section of the game, they'd be pushovers, easy. Then the next several sections of the game, they'd be grossly overpowered to the point where you're like, wait a minute. What is going on here? Am I playing Mass Effect 1 or am I playing Dragon Age Origins? So, where's the customization for Mako? And the handling the Mako, it wasn't perfect. But still, I'll take that vehicle any day. And the controls of the gameplay, it will take time to get used to. Because I completed this game 7 times. Beat it 6 times on the PS3, once on the Xbox 360. So, yeah. And last but not least, the DLC, Bring Down the Sky. I was looking forward to it. Once I got my hands on it, PS3, it was free. I was very disappointed. Super disappointed. It just felt it was just too doggone short. So, yeah, that's my Mass Effect review, the 2007. It's excellent. It feels more like an action RPG. You don't have to run around looking for some stupid ammo clips like you do in Mass Effect 2, 3, Andromeda. You could play the game your way. There are consequences, but I feel that if they take notes from Alpha Protocol or Dragon Age games or other RPG games and say, hey, this is how they do it. Mass Effect needs to take some notes. It'd be alright. So, my verdict for Mass Effect Trilogy, despite my issues I have with Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, and Mass Effect 1, it's excellent. I love it, and I will continue to say it till I draw my last breath. And that, I'm out. What's your thoughts?